Hello everybody and welcome to Millennial Homesteader. I am not comfortable with this video because I always thought that I would do a cooking or preserving or baking video in my big beautiful kitchen once the house has been renovated. But now it has taken us nearly 2 years to decide if we want to keep this house or if we want to build a new one or what kind of design we want. And also, since we are doing everything cash, we have to save up like lots of money for the perfect kitchen or the perfect house, you know what I mean? So, well, here it is. We do preserve some of our food in here. This is where we cook. This is where everything happens. You can basically see my whole kitchen in one frame. It is small. I'll give you a little bit of a tour, but today I want to preserve some of the produce that we harvested from our garden, which are just tomatoes today, and onions that we actually got from my mother when we came back from Joburg, and some of the tomatoes are actually from her garden. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. So welcome to my kitchen. Okay, this is the entry to the kitchen. This is the bag full of other bags. And this is what it looks like when you come in. This is like the whole area. A cupboard which we found, the original zinc sink that we found, and this is the one drawer in the kitchen where we put our spoons and whatnot, our fridge and our storage area over there. This is the stove we use in the kitchen, but we have another big one in the garage which we use for baking, and this is our little kitchen oven. We have a bigger one in the garage, and these are the shelves that my husband made when we got here because we didn't have shelves at all. Yeah, this is it, a corner full of something there, and our fridge here, and then we have a big freezer in the garage. This is it, you guys. So this is where I'm going to be working from. So I'm just going to remove this oven, put it somewhere else so that I have more space. What I'm going to do now is to cut up all the onions and the tomatoes, and then after that I'm going to cook them over here in a big pot because I have to can them hot, and then I'll show you how I do the canning process. It is not a lot of work, but then it does take time because canning takes a little bit more time than just, putting it in a blender and then freezing it. But we prefer the tomatoes and the onions canned than frozen because it's just, they just stay for a little bit longer. So we've filled up one dish. I don't have a lot left, but these are the smaller ones and they're easy to process. So let me get another dish and then continue. These small ones are really enjoyable to work with. It's just you hold it them, then you just cut it. Alright, that's it. Literally takes half the time of the bigger ones. I'm done with that. So now I'm gonna start with the onions. Thanks, Ma. So these onions, my mom actually got them for like 35 rands a bag, and she decided she was going to share with us. We think that if you can actually find produce that is super affordable, especially if you live in Johannesburg, and you go to is it City Deep or the Joburg market, they usually have produce that is super affordable. So you can go from like fruits or vegetables or whatever, and then you buy that and then preserve it, and then when it's out of season, then you don't have to buy it at ridiculous prices. So this is helpful. It stayed out for too long. You can see now it's actually getting I need to be planted, I need to be out of here. Processing onions is the worst because you cry a lot, but let the crying begin. I'm trying to remove the outer part without going too deep into the onion, but then it's just stuck, so I'm definitely going into that first shell, I don't know what it is, the first big peel, and just getting rid of it. I decided I'm not going to process all the onions, so that there is a really good ratio with the amount of tomatoes that I have, and these are the only tomatoes and those are the onions that I'm going to use, so that it just makes sense and we don't end up having just an onion relish. But the other onions that I've put away, I am going to use those as pickled onions or something else. We'll see. First things first, I need to boil water, which I'm going to put the lids of my my jars. So I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna use this one and then just put some water in there. And while the water is boiling, there is something wrong with my gas stove, so it's making a lot of noise. But while the water is boiling, I'm going to be preparing the relish in here, and then once that is ready, we'll start putting it in the jars. So with this, I'm not really trying to overcook it. I just need it to get hot so that I can can them. So I started by sauteing the onions, and then now added the tomatoes, and then added some sea salt in there. I add oil because I like to add oil. It doesn't really affect anything. So now while this is like cooking a little bit, I'm going to be putting my jars, which I'm going to use in here in the boiling water so that they can get sterilized. I am going to be using these honey jars. I don't know, is this even visible? Let me move the camera. Yeah, I'm going to be using these honey jars because they're affordable for us and they can pretty okay. The other ones, that the console jars, the 2 lead console jars, are pretty expensive and we are not going to be buying those for now. So we are using these ones. They're about 11 rands for one, but you can buy a whole set and you get them at a little bit of an affordable-ish price. And also I'm also going to use these ones which came with the canner when we bought it. So we've used this before, and after the food is done we're just gonna keep reusing these. I like those jars because they the amount of food that we can in here is actually enough for us, because we don't want to have like a lot of food. We don't want to open a bottle and then cannot finish it. So when we use these ones, they're pretty, like, it's enough for the 2 of us most of the time. But if there's any need to have like more food, we can always open more jars, but for now this works just fine. This pot is small. I'm also going to put the leads in there so that they can also get sterilized in the process. So that's fine. I am just going to take out these bottles, then prep them some more. I have to buy a funnel so that when I'm pouring this, it is just going in nice and clean. But for now, this will do. I don't really fill them up to the top, so I just leave it around here so that there's like space in there. I then wipe these just to remove the outside juices that were flowing while I was pouring, and to just keep them clean, and so that they also don't make the water inside the canner dirty. Then the last part is sterilizing the mouth of the jar, because I've been handling it and holding it and doing all the other stuff, so I just need to make sure that it's clean. So I'm just pouring in some white spirit vinegar with an acidity of 5%. I think it does the job because it's a nice sterilizer. So I just dip it in there, then wipe the outside of the jar, just the outside, like so. That's hot, that's hot. Like so. And then I take the lid. I don't touch them inside because they were boiling, so the hojos they could cook you'll probably be dead. But also sometimes I actually just give them a little bit of a wash, like a wipe inside with the vinegar before I close the jar. I don't want any vinegar inside the relish. Then I just close it, just tight enough, not too tight, because the pressure in the canner will do its thing. Like so. Just make sure all of them are nice and tight. Okay, so trying to find a nice spot that is stable, because this needs to be a bit stable with all that pressure. So this is the canner that I am using. It is from Milex. It's written Milex Power Pressure XL. I don't know if that is visible. It's actually a pressure cooker, but then it also cans. So inside there's this little dish sort of thing, and it has all the weird measurements in there, and it has this rack that you need to put at the bottom so that your jars can actually sit on. So I'm putting that in, and then I just place my jars inside the canner, and I just make sure that they're nice and comfortable in there. Oh, I think I could actually fit another one. No, I can't. No, I can't fit another one. Okay, so this is what they're looking like in there. Nice and comfortable. This is pretty full, actually. So I am going to pour water, and yeah, I'm going to pour some water in here and then just make sure that it is nice and filled all the way to the top. Okay, so actually with these jars, I realized that when you fill them up, it actually gets to the line that's written full, so I don't know. So I think next time I'm just gonna buy more of this, and then, or the shorter ones, because these ones are the 300 mils, I think. And then now I just have to close this. I am going to can, please close at this point. It gives you nice instructions to follow, so I'm assuming this is closed, exhaust, airproof. And then there's this little thingy here that you have to move to the other side so that it is closed. Once the canning timer is done, you move it, you open it up, and then it releases the pressure, and then your stuff is ready. It takes quite a bit to start up, so I'm not going to record that. It's gonna take long, and then I'll show you the results. This one you have to press quick, otherwise it's gonna start loading. So I'm going to press here where it's written preserve canning or preserve. I press that and I go quickly to time adjustments. It increases in 5s, and then now there you have it. It's 40 minutes, and then you just leave it there, and then that means that it's now building up pressure when it does that. and then once it stops doing that weird rounding thingy, then it will start canning for 40 minutes. But this build up actually takes quite a bit of time, just a bit of a delay, like 10 minutes delay sometimes. So it's quite annoying when you are dealing with load shedding or power blackouts, but it does the job. So I'll come back later and show you once the process is done. It's now 26 minutes. This thing took forever to actually build up pressure, but here we go. It's now dark. I think it's around, let's see, around 6 or so. So this is done now with the first batch of bottles. It's now off, so now I have to open up this vent here so that I can release the pressure. Then once the pressure is all released, then I will be able to open this and then put the other bottles. So I've already packaged this, and then now let's release the pressure. Actually, releasing the pressure is quite scary for me, so I'm gonna use something that is going to allow me to go a little bit further away so that I don't feel too scared to do that. So this is it. So once that press is done, I'll be able to put them in. Okay, so that is done. I'm going to take them out and then add the other batch. Unfortunately, this canner is so small. It doesn't really allow you to like have so many bottles in there, and it takes forever, so it requires like an all day kind of thing. And I only started around later in the day today, so I am definitely going to finish this canning way later in the night, and then hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to take a little bit of a video so that you can see what it looks like. It won't look too different, but you know, just to see the completed bottles. So I'm going to take that out now, and then yeah, we continue. The big difference with the jars that have been canned is the bulginess on top of the lid. These lids, I don't know, it won't be visible. These ones are flat because they've not been canned, and then these ones have that bulginess. You know, like when you buy mayonnaise, when you open it has that weird sound, the sound to release the pressure. That's what those ones are going to do. So there's that bulginess there. It shows that they're nice and tight. And if I don't see the bulginess, then I will know that they didn't can well. Sometimes they will actually leak, and sometimes they break. The first time I did this, they actually broke, and you kind of get used to the sounds as well. It is quite scary. The canning process is actually quite scary, but you get used to it, hey? You get used, you try it out, and then see, you know, see what works for you, what kind of sounds it's going to bring when it's in your home, you know, that kind of thing, because it's definitely different for everyone. There is also a very helpful group on Facebook called Pressure Canning South Africa, and they are super helpful. I think there's also someone who actually gives classes for you to go and learn how to can with them, but yeah, the group in general is just helpful, because you have to remember that we do not have the same tools or canning materials that the Americans have, which is most of the information that you are really going to get if you go online to look for it. So definitely worth it to go onto that group and learn how to can the South African way, because you don't want to make any mistakes. I heard it's very dangerous, and I'm not willing to go online to look at how dangerous it is. Just try and find people who already know what they're doing, and then you learn from them. Now this is too full. I was attempting to actually put 6 of this, but I don't think that's gonna work. I'm too scared to get it to fill up this much. So is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? That would have been so nice to get this together, like to get 6 at a time. Okay, or maybe let me reduce the water and see what happens. So I'm trying to put 6 at a time so that I get to go to sleep a little earlier. And then so that looks fine. And then now I can add the water and put it up to the level where it's full. Seriously. Okay. Okay. Then yeah, we close it up, that vent, then it's ready. So these ones that I've canned, I'm going to leave them here. I don't want to move them because apparently you should not move them after you have just canned. So I'm just gonna leave them here overnight, and then I'll pack them away tomorrow once they've completely cooled down. I'm just gonna make marks here so that I don't end up canning the ones that have already been canned, and then now I'm left with 2 for 6, and then that'll be it. So definitely learn the skills for preserving food. You can use water bathing, you could, where you boil them in water, and you can also do fermentation, which is also pretty cool. Our cucumbers, we actually ferment them. Like this is fermented. No. This is water bathed. I don't have anything that has been fermented right now, but this is water bath. So this takes less time, and I like it because we usually eat this within 3 months and they're done. So definitely learn the skills, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's very different, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I cannot wait to share more. Hopefully more baking and fermenting and doing stuff the South African way. Bye.